Hello, everybody. I seem to be rather low. Hold on. There we go. That's good enough. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Hi, Shirley. How Debbie do? Hi, CFL. How y'all doing? I was running all around, trying to get everything ready. But yeah, I am Chris Collective. I have a hoodie on today because it's officially winter. Phoenix only has two different seasons. It has winter and it has summer, and it's officially winter. And so I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully, everyone else is having a good week. Starting off November right. I started off a little hectic. I'm trying to get my plane tickets done, and man, I know they were price gouging on gas. I know they're price gouging on everything they can, right? And it's like, oh man, they really price gouging on airline tickets. I mean, crazy prices. Real crazy prices. So, that being said, I wanted to focus. You know, it's getting cold out there, so we're going to be getting hot in here, right? And so, what we're going to be doing is pretty simple. We're going to be making. Actually, oops, I forgot my. Boom, there you go. I was dull. There you go. Well, yeah. So, what we're going to be doing today is making this little pot holder. So this one is a sample one that I made. It's denim on both sides, denim on denim, and it has a little ribbon on the top to hold it. So you can hold it on a wall or something like that. I then sewed it in quadrants. That way, it just kind of easier. Like if you need to fold it in half, you can do that. And if you have a smaller surface, you can do that. Otherwise, this will do like a nice big pan. And so we're going to look at how I made this and make us one of our own. And then when I was buying the supplies for this, the bag that I bought had this pattern for free. This is like a little free pattern, and so I'm gonna show how to do this one too. This is like a little free pattern from Pelon. And what I was buying is this stuff right here. This is cotton batting. It's called Wrap and Zap cotton batting, 100% natural cotton batting. And then the back of it had a little potato bag zapper. And so what this is microwavable fabric. So the interfacing, or not interfacing, but batting is what it's called. And this is 100% natural cotton, and so therefore it is microwave safe. And so the company Pelon, which is the company that makes this, they make both of them. This one is used for anything in the microwave, anything like that you can use. And then this is called Inslabright. You can kind of hear that it has a crinkly texture to it, whereas this one makes no noise. It's like cotton noise. This kind of feels like a cotton ball. Is what it feels like. Whereas this is very solid because it actually has like a little piece of like plastic type thing going through it, and this is not microwavable. So this is not microwavable. This stuff is microwavable. And read the instructions. It says it on there. Okay. Microwave this. And so if you need to heat up a potato in the microwave, which is a good way of making potatoes, you can put it in this little bag here. And so we'll show that off if we had time today. If not, then that's okay. I'll show it another day. But what I have done is kind of pre-cut 3 pieces. I'm using 2 pieces of Insulbright and 1 piece of the Zap, the Wrap and Zap number 100% cotton fabric. This we're going to use for the pot holder. Oh, sorry, my bad. See the baked potato bag. See, it basically goes like that. And so that's your fabric. So we'll do that later. But first, I wanted to cut out another pot holder. One second. Yeah, okay, that's plugged in. Okay. Well, I'm a little chaotic today. I had to do my first ever cancellation. So I this guy had ordered a product from me, and typically, I ship daily for all of my Macari orders and things like that. I ship daily, and so I was expecting to ship this thing out for him today, and literally couldn't find it. Couldn't find it yesterday. Couldn't find it the day before, and so had to make the hard decision to actually cancel the guy's order. And told him like, hey, I can't find the entire order. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel it, and then because it was 5 comics and I could only find 4 of them. I've literally tore my entire house apart looking for these damn comics, but it's all right because he went ahead and rebought it for the 4 comics instead of 5. So I'll ship that out to him tomorrow. So now we have. Actually, let me hit that little Steam. Yeah, it was a bummer. I was unhappy about it. I have a feeling I sent it in someone else's box, and basically they just got a comic for free, a $10 comic book for free. So I was not happy about that, and was kind of literally, I mean, tore my entire house apart just like looking for it. And I had just spent the last month organizing everything, only to lose something, and then had to do it all over again, right? So, but as we say here, right? We just keep improving. So, at the end of the day, it's okay. We'll just move on. For like 2 days, I was like panicking about it. And honestly, it's like 4 or 5 hours later, it was all solved, right? We able to get it fixed, no problem. Canceled what I didn't have, and what I do have, you can have. Okay. So, now that this is all nice and flat, nice and flat. Cool. So what I am doing is I have my top pieces, which says these hoes ain't loyal. I got it from J and J. Yeah, yeah. I did find some other stuff. That is true. I did find some other stuff that I was like, oh, I haven't listed this yet. Let me go list that. 'Cause, I mean, I'm listing about 500 comics or something like that, so it's like a lot of stuff. It gets lost easy. But yeah, so we take the right side of the fabric. Yeah, exactly. And then we take another right side of the fabric, and you put those two together. Right sides together, basic rule one of all sewing, put right sides together. Now, doesn't really matter how many pieces you have of this. I've been doing 2 of Insula Brights and 1 of cotton batting. I have another one that I did 1 and 1 and 1. I've had, you know what I mean? Like, I've kind of been experimenting. I like this one though, 2 pieces of Insula Bright and 1 piece of cotton batting. That does make a top and a bottom though, because the cotton batting will essentially be your top. So, oh yeah, look, Empty. I'm using one of my fabrics today. These hoes ain't loyal. And then what we're making is a little pot holder. So you will be able to put your hot things down. And see, this is going to be a much bigger one. It will be considerably larger. But I wanted to make a big one because I was like, oh, I made a small one. So like, let's make a big one. Always good to kind of press it before you sew it, just to try to get it flat. All right. And then another thing that we need is a piece of ribbon. I have no idea what this is. All you do for ribbon is fold it in half, figure out how big you want that loop, and then just cut it there. And oftentimes I cut a little bit beyond it anyways. And then I like, instead of like one on top of itself like that, I actually kind of like doing like this. So it's offset. I find I like it better. It's just an aesthetic choice. You can, if you're like a perfectionist with like ADD or something, you probably want it like, perfect, right? Where it's like, whereas I kind of like the being able to see the whole kind of rainbow over and over again. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have to do rainbow, and we can do whatever you want. And it goes. Now this is the tricky part. Like the interesting part to it is that it goes inside your two pieces, your top two pieces, the actual fabric pieces. So you can go inside of those, and then you can just pin it right in place. And if you want, you can pin these sides as well. This is a very big piece of like very thick stuff. So I do kind of like just like throwing a pin or two into it. Put one more here. That just kind of helps keep everything together. So now we have a piece of cotton batting, a piece of Insulbright, another piece of Insulbright. So that's the heat resistant part. Then just two layers of fabric. Put two together. Notice no interfacing on this project. So I went out and bought this today, and I had the Insulbright already because there was a good sale on it a little while ago. So I had all the pieces that I need. Now, something that if you ever look up instructions on this, something that it will tell you is because this is a natural item and then you're mixing it with fabric, notice how there's like a little bit of hangover here. That's 100% okay. You see it here too. There's a little bit. This one has like a little bit there. It's fine. You're actually going to do a half-inch seam allowance on this. You're not going to do a quarter inch like what I normally do is a little like quarter inch. But we're not going to do a quarter inch. We're going to do, oops, we're going to do a half inch. And the reason for that is because you have a lot of movement in all of these pieces. In fact, when you do sewing, they will tell you, they'll be like, okay, make sure, right here. I'm going to start like halfway into it. Yeah, definitely. Definitely for the I mean, I guess I can put my like dab rig on this, and that'd work. But no, this is the kind for pans. But that is funny. I should make some kind of pot holder. That was kind of the joke when I wrote the thing for this video. I was like, oh, I'll do that. It'd be funny. And then whenever I get to anything inside of it, I always like to do a little backstitch. When I was working full time making suits and vests and stuff, I would always, when I get to like the, like the tag or something, I would always backstitch that too. Just, piece of friendly advice. It's like it's good to. And then what will happen is we will then trim off whatever we don't need. It's 100% okay. And then I'd normally double backstitch, which means I backstitch once and then do it again. It's not necessary. I'll tell you right off the bat, it is not required. I just do it because I'm a paranoid person. And I just like backstitching. I don't know, something about it I enjoy. So now we have. We'll switch back over to the other camera. Okay, so yeah, the sound is always the best. So now you can see we have an opening at the top here, and then everything else is sewn. But you can see it's like very much you know a little bit of extra here, a little extra there. And before you start cutting anything, do look at both sides and make sure that you're happy with it. Because you could go a little farther if you wanted, but it's like realistically, it's done. You know what I mean? It's better just to kind of look at it and be like, all right, I'm done. It's a thing I'm learning this year of like, you got to be okay with good enough. And then you're going to trim the entire thing. Now, I have seen some people online, they will like additionally trim back the interfacing piece or the batting pieces even more than they trim the other pieces because it is very thick. I kind of just been trimming all of it is how I've been doing it. And then definitely get all your corners. And yeah, if you do see a piece that's like a little too much overhang, get rid of it. Do be careful though. Make sure you have done all your corners because this stuff is ultra super thick. So it will, you're not going to get sharp corners if you don't. I know Shirley just shows up for the sound of my machine every time, huh? She's like, I know how to make all of this stuff already. I just want to hear that awesome machine. Oh, I feel you on that one, Shirley. I love the way my machine sounds too. It's just so quiet yet so powerful. If you feel it needs to cut a little more, then cut a little more. All right. Let's see, a little more there too. Boom. So, just like most of the times we've done this, now we have a piece that is sewn up. It has a hole in it. Now, the key that is different than the other things that we've been doing, the other things have been interfaced, meaning they are permanently bonded to it. This is not that. This is still loose, right? I can still, get my fingers in there. And so the key here is make sure that you don't grab any of the insulating fabric, but instead go to those two layers and open that up and go in there. If you grab any of the other pieces, that will become your outside fabric and you won't have pretty fabric. You'll have cotton batting as your fabric. And you don't want that, right? So make sure you get inside of those two pieces of fabric that you had. And everything else will just kind of fall in line. You'll fall in between those two pieces. So what we're going to do, I keep remembering I got to do it in front of everyone. I keep wanting to do it like above or something like that. What we're going to do now is just pull this sucker out. This is partially why I do such like a hardcore backstitch on all of my pieces, because it's like I manhandle the shit out of them. But to each their own. If you want to take your time and do it slow, you can. And then bloop. So now we have a piece. And then take a pencil, or if you have, I have my chopstick around here somewhere. But oh, here it is. I was going to say, otherwise, chopstick, back of a pencil. I wouldn't use the front just because you don't want to get have it poke through, right? You don't want that and break your piece. But yeah, now we're just trying to poke through, right? Poke the not poke through, poke the corners. And then it's good to try to pull them first with your hands. So like get in there and separate these two out. But that can only go but so far, to be honest. You're really going to, at the end of the day, always need to come in and poke that sucker. Now, you will have to be okay with having a little bit more rounded corners. And the reason for that is because we have so much stuffing in there. It's never going to be as square as, let's see, I do have one of my other pieces around me. I don't have it on mine. But yeah, you know what I mean? The other pieces that I make, they will be very square. Whereas this one, you can't do them as square. They're just not possible. I do prefer the chopstick. I find a plastic chopstick is personally my favorite. Our tag is a little off center, but that's okay. That's all right. No problem. Just a little, and I want to do it as instructions. Obviously, we have these hoes ain't loyal. Perfect fabric for this. I think it was just, a cute little fabric. Very funny. We do want to kind of like go in there and just kind of move your hands around. And the reason for that is you want that batting and everything in there to get nice and flat again. Because when you shoved it all around, remember that is a natural fiber, and so it can distort. So just kind of make it so you can see now it's flat, right? Yeah, a pot's not squared either. Yeah, this one was really, I thought of it more for like a pan. So I cook a lot of scrambled eggs, and I cook it in like a big pan that's like an 18-inch pan, something like that. And I've noticed that my pot holder was a lot smaller, and I was like, I need to get a bigger pot holder. And then I looked into pot holders, and I was like, oh, I can actually make these pretty easily. And that's kind of how I am now. It's like step one, can I make it? And if I can, well, then there's no step two, right? I go and make it. And it's like, if not, then I'll try to buy it, from a local person. I try to avoid Amazon as much as possible. Is my personal preference. Some people do cut these parts away specifically from my hole. So now you can see you have this nice little fabric. I like that I did the denim on the dark side there. And the top side has that cotton batting on it as well. And so it's really soft. And then this side's not as soft, but then again, that's also denim. So never really meant to be that soft, right? And so that's basically your pot holder right there. I mean, at this point, it is functional. It just has a big hole in it. So let's go ahead and fix that hole. What you're going to want to do is same thing we've done in 20 other videos before. We want to top stitch this together. It does help. I would do this more towards the camera, but unfortunately, I kind of need to be able to see it. But what I am doing is just, poking it in, trying to get that nice and flat. Looking at it, sometimes I like to stretch it and then hit that with steam. And then flip it and do it again. This time, really make sure to take care of all the pieces, parts, and really try to get that nice and flat. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a regular product for me. That I'll start releasing next week. I'll have these. Yes. So this stuff is 100% machine washable. Both the Insulbright and the microwavable stuff is washable. I believe so, right? This is the other stuff that I'm using. It's called Insulbright. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, this one is not microwavable, but I'm 100%. You can, right? Yeah, machine washable. Machine wash, warm, tumble dry, use warm iron if needed. Yeah, I was about to say I was pretty sure you could, but yeah, good on you to ask me that. That is very helpful. I appreciate that. But yes, this is a machine washable product. Which is important. I mean, anything you buy at a store as well, they're going to be using machine washable fabric as well. So it's important that I do have like the same standard as Target, because people wouldn't buy it if it was not as good, right? So let's go. Once we're happy with it, okay, let's go and top stitch it. All right. I always like starting on the side that has the hole. So like here's the hole right there. So I like starting on that side. That way I just know that it's nice and sealed. Okay. So now it is top stitched. So you could effectively call that done if you want. You could effectively call that done. We can then look at it and go, okay, based on the pattern, what we'll end up doing here. I'll switch back up to the other one. So, I backstitched my corners just for the fun of it. No, not really. I backstitched the corners for durability. Is essentially the reason. I am a sucker for a backstitch. I'll tell you what, I love a backstitch. I do it all the time, way more than realistically I should. I mean, I've had a lot of people in my industry that I work with that would be like, you don't need to backstitch that much. I like backs. I don't know. I find it easy, especially on these machines. Literally, this entire thing is a bar right there, and that whole bar. How many will you make for production? Oh, like 10 a day is how many I'm planning on doing. About 10 a day. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to sit down, do like 10 of them, and then put them all online. And then by the end of this month, I'll have a website up and running. The website's like up and running at this point, but I haven't fully like finished out which ones I want to do, like what pieces and parts and things. So what we're going to do now is kind of look at it and we go, okay, this could be done if we want, but I've been doing some decorative stitching as well on it. And so what we're going to do for that, we're basically going to look at it and be like, okay, where would the stitching go that wouldn't bother with the pattern. And so what we're going to do is put them like, you can kind of see the pins there. And so we're going to put it in this nice straight line like that. But yeah. And then I also applied to go into a shop so that I'd be like available for sale, like having products on sale. But we'll see if I get into that or not. So that is the next big thing that I'm trying for right now, is trying to get into a store. It's like a local only store, so you have to be a small business to get into it. And so I'm gonna try to get into it. I want to get the website done first and then get that going. But yeah, so we're gonna go stitch this some more. Essentially just from one side to the other. Trying not to interfere with my design too much. And I find I really have to stretch the end piece there. It kind of buckles. And I haven't really figured out how to solve that problem yet. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I think what it is I'm stuffing it too big. See? What's this I'm talking about? Oops. Going to. I don't know about that. I don't know why it's doing that. It's like because I must have overstuffed it or something. Here, I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. I'm not really sure why it's doing that. I got to look into it. I just started messing around with these today. I went and got that fabric today, and I was like, all right, let me start messing around with these. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what I need to do. Start in the middle. Because what happened is, you can kind of, let's see if we'll see it. It's like right here, you can see it's like pinched. You can see it's like the fabric has gone over it. So I think I'll try that next time, Shirley. I'll start in the middle and go out. Because that's what it is. It's like when you get the middle, it like keeps moving and bunches it. So I'll try that in the middle next time. But I just wanted to do that because it just makes it look a little better. And it makes it more solid of a piece when it has that in there. This one was going to be made for me anyway, so it can be a little imperfect. But yeah, isn't that pretty cool? This is the pot holder. Pretty neat, huh? Now, the other thing that I wanted to show is this guy. Basically the same concept. We're going to take two pieces of fabric. One is this Victorian, but everything is skulls. And the other one is that finish him fabric. And it says fatality and finish him. So we're going to put those two fabrics together, but we do need one piece of this batting. Now, this stuff is relatively expensive. It was $12 for 1 yard, which is, I mean, relatively expensive. There is a lot cheaper stuff out there, and there's a lot more expensive stuff out there. And so all I'm doing is taking the fabric, laying it down on top of this and cutting it out. Remember, we're going to have that half-inch seam allowance, so you can end up what's called dirty cutting something, which just means lay it on top, cut it, whatever you get, you get. That's dirty cutting. Because, like, for instance, see, I actually ended up cutting, like, yeah, I'm going to switch to just one camera. See what I'm saying? I just ended up cutting a little bit of my fabric off, and that's fine. That's just what dirty cutting does for you. You're going to end up a little dirty. You know what I mean? The handmade product shouldn't be perfect, and there's a difference. Yeah, I do agree, but I want the highest quality that I can of a homemade good. But yes, I mean, I would sell this product or, this one. I'd sell them. Like, I don't care. It's fine. They look fine. They do fine. Like, this one doesn't have a piece of it's got ribbon in it, right? Yeah, stuff like that, right? It's like, I'll mess with different stuff and it works out. If it doesn't, whatever, we'll sell it for $1 or something. I did list my first punch needle piece the other day. So I do have the ghost-faced mug rug is currently for sale for $10 on Mercari. And so, as we did in the previous piece, we have one piece of this cotton batting, then the two pieces of fabric put together. It does not matter where you put this because it will end up in between these two anyways. So it doesn't matter. And the other one, it did matter kind of, just because I wanted the cotton batting on one side and not both. But this one, it doesn't matter. Because you can't put, to be clear, no Insulbright in the microwave. This is only that cotton batting stuff. So let's go sew this one up. Oh, you know what? Actually, I forgot a step. Whoops. So this, for some reason, they put this point into there. So you get this bag, but you can't put a button on it. Like, I assume it was like they had a buttoned version, and it's like there's literally no point of that. So we're not going to do it. What we're going to do is just fold it in half and do that because their version's weird. And the lovely thing about sewing is I don't have to follow their instructions. I can do my own thing. And actually, I might end up just doing like a freehand rounded version is probably what I'll do. Why not? Saves me time of not having to. I shouldn't need to pin any of it. Okay, we're going to start along. My piece was so long it ran into you. So we're going to start like a third of the way from the bottom. Backstitch and go. The reason why we did that is because we're going to start and stop at that point. And then, if you ever look at something, you're like, hey, I want to go 2 more stitches. You can. There's literally, no rule against it, right? So, like, I wanted to go a little bit farther, so I just turned it back and went farther. And then, as long as your needle's down, you can spin this sucker however you want, no problem. All right. And then you do want to make sure it's nice and flat again before you continue. I figured give myself an extra centimeter there. And then here's the part that I'm going to just like freehand. You don't have to freehand this. You can do, whatever shape you want. But I just wanted to do something quick. And, just like a potato, potatoes are not necessarily perfectly round. So I figure a potato bag doesn't have to be perfectly round either. And so As you can see, I'll show you on the other one. It'll be easier to see. This bag is for whatever you want to put in the microwave, you can put in this bag. This is a microwave safe fabric bag. 100% cotton all the way through. The fabric is cotton, the batting is cotton, the thread is cotton. You need all three to be cotton. And you can microwave the heck out of this thing. What it is, it actually says on here from Pellin that you can microwave like basically for like 5 minutes, and you'll microwave a potato and that will cook the potato for you. I just thought it was cool because it's like a microwave safe bag. And I don't know if you remember, but a couple of weeks ago I had actually said, I was like, I am looking for some kind of microwave safe bag, so I can stop using just like a splatter guard. So actually the next thing I'm going to make after this is a long square version of this so that I can use it as a splatter guard. Use it to cover plates with in the microwave. So that's what I'm going to end up making a version. But this is the one from Pellon, however you want to pronounce it. And they say it's for making potatoes, baked potatoes in the microwave. So you take literally a whole potato, a full potato, and just shove it in there. After you clean it, of course, you do want to clean your potato. But after you clean it, you can just throw it in there, and there you go. Microwave it for 5 minutes, and you got yourself a potato. It's always better if you do iron it before you turn it inside out. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But especially for large pieces like this, it's always sufficed. And again, just the same rule that we just did. You don't want to grab your loose stuff. You want to instead grab the 2 pieces of fabric and go in there. Otherwise, this will become your top fabric, and you don't want that, right? And see, I think that was a pretty decent circle. We'll see. We'll see when I pull it through what it looks like. But yeah, I mean, I thought because they were like, "Oh, use it for potatoes," and honestly, what I thought was this will make a great plate cover. Because like today, after this, I'll cook some rice in the microwave because I already had it. I already had it cooked. I'm just kind of warming up the rice, and then I had some chicken left over, and so boom, I got a little leftover meal. That's going to be my dinner tonight. And it's like all I got to do is throw it on a plate, throw this on top of it instead of using a wet paper towel. Because I mean, this is fabric. I can wet this if I want. But I'm going to test that out before I, recommend it to everyone else, right? And I got to make sure I test it myself. And again, oops, hold on, I forgot to go back to single. There you go. Poke, 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 poke. We're just kind of poking it out. And so now you have this nice finish fabric. Yeah, warming up rolls. Yeah, absolutely. If you just have like a dinner roll, throw your dinner roll right inside of there. Boom, there you go. And it's nice and warm, nice and safe, and you save the environment a little bit because you didn't have to throw away a paper towel afterwards, right? I mean, a lot of times something I always felt like guilty about was like if I microwave this, I'm going to end up like for a long time I had like a tray of half-used paper towels because I was like, oh well, all I used it for was the microwave, so let me use it for something else, and it's like I realized eventually it's like it's actually better if I just don't like get rid of them, and then I switched to bamboo ones for a while, so that way I wouldn't feel as bad about throwing them away. Too much shit on here. All right. So same thing as before. Now we have it nice and flat. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if it's warm enough for a hand warmer, but yeah. Yeah. If you wanted to put your hands in it, I guess you can. It is big enough. It's hand sized. And so we have now the same thing as before, where we have this opening, and so we just basically try to get it to look like it's its neighbors there. And once you think you have, you can iron it and flip it and try it again. And the reason why I flip it is because you want to make sure it looks good on both sides. This corner's not as popped out as I like. Okay. So what's unique about this one and why I wanted to show like the two different pieces is because this one, once we got to this point, we kind of sewed it and we were done, right? Where this one, you actually want to fold it in half, right? Because you need the bag part. And so we're just going to simply fold this in half. Now this one I did this way. This one I'm going to do this way, just for the heck of it. You know what I mean? No real rhyme or reason to why I did one side or the other. And these are technically reversible. You could turn it inside out. There's nothing, nothing technically stopping you from doing that. If you really wanted, you could turn it inside out. You know, you can. But for our purposes today, we're going to leave both of them right side out, just to kind of show you how I did it. And so it's all just top stitch at this point. So we're going to go, I'm going to hit it with steam just to kind of make it more pliable. Anytime you hit fabric with hot air, it will kind of, penetrate in there and open up the pores. So, pores would be on our face, but, it would open up the tension between the threads. And that way you can get your needle in there even easier. So it's always a good idea to have, a nice warm piece of fabric to be able to do your sewing with. And like always, I do try to go to where my hole is, which is right here. Oops. So that's where my hole is here. So we're just going to start. We'll start here. Yeah, but backstitching at my corners just because I like doing it. I think it reinforces it and gets it really nice. One of those things as CFL was saying, it's like, the homemade product is going to be slightly different. And it's like, for me, it's one of those things that like a big company would see that as a cost cutting measure of like, hey, don't backstitch because that's going to cost us money and time. Whereas a homemade good, I can go, hey, I'll spend the extra time to make this product something that will last longer. Because my product will last longer than something that you buy at Target because it's not made for 40 cents, it's made for $5, right? It's like I'm, going to sell this for $5, not $1.50 on coupon, right? So it needs to be made for more money. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the advantage of buying local, buying small, is that I can give you a product that's much higher quality, even if it's not 100% perfect. I still think my quality is better and higher than what you get at made of China products. And of course, I sleep well at night. You know what I mean? I'm not doing slave labor. I'm not cheaping people out of their money and their hard-earned time. So there you go. That's the other one. Again, took what, 10 minutes to make one of these from start to finish? 10 minutes? I mean, that's nothing. You know what I mean? So I mean, I could sell these for $5. Boom, there you go. and then a little microwave safe bag that you can use. Isn't that fun? And then again, you can have it, front ways, back ways. You could turn it inside. Hold on, let me go back to one. You can do front ways, back ways, however you want, right? See, nice and pointy, like it came from Pellin, or I just kind of did a round one just for the heck of it, right? Because you're not really going to use this part anyways, unless you really want, and you can kind of stuff it in there, right? You just kind of stuff it in there, and you can get yourself a little bag. Or if you just want to like throw that on top of a plate, there you go. Or even underneath of a plate, right? If you're like, hey, that plate's always so hot when I put it in the microwave, that plate's always so hot. Well, you can put this underneath of it then, right? And even have this little tab, that way you can pull it and grab it to you, right? So it's like, just because something is, from the manufacturer one way doesn't mean you can't figure out new solutions for it, right? Because it is just two pieces of cotton fabric and one piece of cotton batting, and hey, you got yourself a functional little bag here, made in 10 minutes, right? Isn't that neat? And then, about 15 minutes for this guy because they're a little tougher. But we got, little pot holders. And then this one even has, the hanging so you can hang it in your kitchen, whatever. And then that's why I did, that's why I did a nice design on it too, right? You can have that and it's going to be like, oh, honey, that's cool. But yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today. I sure did. Individual unique designs versus mass production, what makes the product absolutely, yeah, that's the whole point of the company, really, is I can, because I could easily go, there's a company called Dropship, and I could easily buy all of this stuff from China and sell it to you for like $2, but that person did not have a nice life. They're miserable. You have to make, you have to have security guards stopping people from leaving your building. No, you don't want that, right? It's like you want something new and cool, right? In a nice, peaceful, loving environment, which is what I did. And so there you go, right? Now I have a house full of cool new pot holders and new microwavers, and there you go, right? Now you can have some too. Next week I'll have some of these up for sale, but this week I wanted to show just what my new product is. Isn't that cool? Can buy it from China, but it would cost you 6 to ship it here. Oh, I know, right? Well, yeah, exactly. Or they have to buy 30,000 of them, and of course, they all then look the same. Whereas, see, even just these two, they're backwards, right? Like a production company could not do that because it would cost them too much money to be like, hey, make 10 of them this way, make 10 of them this way. They're going to be make just 20 that way because it's cheaper for them, right? Where it's like for me, you get unique stuff like see all that's rainbow thread. See what I'm saying? It's like I did all of this in rainbow thread. All my stuff is in rainbow thread. That way a queer person made it for you. And I can follow the design. So this one I did it in blocks of 6. This one 3 blocks. Right? Why not? Because well, this one you don't need any of the lines really. You just need the top stitch. That's all you really need. So everything else is just decorative. So now, and it does make it a little bit sturdier. I will admit, it does make it sturdier to have the little thread in it. But yeah, isn't that cool? You can really make amazing stuff. Next week, these will be available for sale. Probably, for something this size, probably like $8. Shipped $8 because I could slap this. I can slap this into a small box like that big, right? And ship it to you, and then bloop, it'll pop right back out, right? So that's the lovely thing is, I can ship this in a mailer right here. On 1 second. I can slap it into one of these bags and have it sent off. No problem, right? See, look at that. Fit, no problem. Boom. And because it's fabric, you're not going to damage it anyways, right? Nice, dude. Good job. Heck yeah. Yeah. But yeah, see, I can, slap it in a bag and sell it real fast. So I can sell them for like $8 or so. Actually, cool fun fact about this. I bought all of these for $2. It was 100 of them for $2. I found it at the Goodwill. If you're looking for shipping supplies, sometimes the Goodwill can has someone's small business, I guess, maybe went under, or they didn't like the flamingos or something. And so, boom, I got it. I got it for like $2. Well, that's awesome, Umpty, that you have sold half of your mystery boxes. If anyone else is looking for a mystery box, Umpty Scratch there on his Instagram and on his website, he has a mystery box for $20 shipped. You can get one little Funko Pop. I got one myself, and so I'll open it up on a future stream here. I'll open it up and see what it is. But yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, with these ones, I can always throw a bunch more. That's, the lovely thing about fabric, right? You can slap it all in there. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll probably figure out some kind of deal, maybe like $12 for like a combo kit or something like that. We'll figure it out. Or 5 for each, or 5 for this one, 8 for this one, something like that, or a $12 combo. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Saturday or Sunday, I'll be doing a live stream of Way of the Hunter. I'm probably going to try to do like 3 hours, if not maybe 4, and look into doing like Twitch and kind of expanding more and more. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate that. I'm getting more and more people watching me. That's the best, Thank you so much. I'm Chris Collected. Stay improving, y'all. Bye. Have a great weekend. See you next time. Thanks for the ideas. Love seeing you smile. Oh, have a great day too. Bye.